What are you asking for? If you're a team praying to win, uh, that's something very specific, and you might not win. So, what is God's will for what was that will be demonstrated in that day? And how can you align yourself up with that will? Doesn't mean you align yourself up with losing. It means that you understand that God is not a genie in a bottle, just granting three wishes. It's something more complex and complicated than that. And sometimes I think about how we balance ambition with faith, right? So if we walk by faith, then we aren't being led by our own desires, our own wants, our own things that we're longing for. So, how do you reconcile that? Well, it's easier said than done. And I think it's something that we have to practice every day, understanding what God's will is for us, for our career, for our whatever. So, in considering what we do in the next level paycheck, is to help people get to that next level financially. Well, you get to the next level financially when you're in the next level career and professionally. We believe that leadership is a critical skill to being successful. Before I get started, I wanted to speak to the woman who knows she's meant for more. If you've been stuck at the same level for too long, I created a leadership assessment test just for you. And it takes just about 3 minutes. And if you qualify, you'll unlock my $2,000 leadership advantage, including 4 weeks of coaching with me, access to our private WhatsApp community, and access to the tools to get you moving again. So start there, take the test, use the link below. When I was in undergraduate school, I was taking Latin. I happened to be a minor in Latin, major in math, and minor in Latin. And then in that, I had a conversation with my Latin teacher, and I was in a little bit of a struggle for some reason. And so he asked me, and I was a pre-med major. So he asked me why was I a pre-med major? And I said that I wanted to be successful. That's why. And so he said, how will being an MD make you successful? And so I said, well, I'll make money, right? And then he said, young lady, you will be successful if you do what you love and you love what you do. And if you have that passion about what you're doing, you will be successful. So I marched myself immediately, and changed my major from pre-med to mathematics, right? Because I believed what he said. So I was, what, 18 or 19 then, something like that. And so here I am, a woman of a certain age, and I believe it more now than I have ever believed it. And so I'm telling you that if you follow your calling, make yourself true to that calling, you'll be successful. And so what does that mean? How do you do it? So one thing you have to do is walk by faith. And what does that mean? Walking by faith doesn't mean that you close your eyes and you just bump around until you find something in your path and then, oh, that's what you're looking for. Walking by faith is continuous effort. It's something you do all the time, not just on Sundays, not just when you say your prayers at night, not just when you say grace before you eat. It's every single thing, every single time, what you do all the time. Doesn't mean being blind. If the blind lead the blind, you're going to end up in a ditch, everybody who follows you. And so it means taking these steps, knowing that each step that you make, when they add up, it adds up to what your calling is and what you should be doing. I have the ability, and it may not be maybe a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But if I have something to do, I can stay up all night long doing it, no problem. I can sit at this desk for 8 solid hours and work to get something done to meet a deadline. And I can do that when I love what I'm doing. When I love what I'm doing, I don't feel fatigued or tired or hungry. I do feel thirsty. I'll tell you that. I get thirsty, but I can press through that the work that needs to be done to do it. when I was in college, I can remember doing my homework and I'd fall asleep on my books because I'd stay up all night long doing it. In my profession as a systems programmer, sometimes we had to stay up all night long working on a problem. One occasion, I came to work Monday morning and I didn't leave work until Wednesday afternoon because we had to work to get the system down. I mean, the down system back up. So how do you do it? I loved what I was doing. I love solving problems, figuring things out. So when you have that passion for things, you're able to apply that, whatever it is to keep things going. The second thing that you do has to do with alignment with God's will. And I'm a football fan, and I remember that I was looking at football with our grandson, and he was rooting for his team to win. And then in the beginning, they prayed. They prayed. They went to a huddle and prayed they were going to win, right? Well, it turns out that they lost. Well, our grandson didn't understand how they could pray and still lose, right? And so he realized something. He said, "You know what? They just wasted God's holy minutes. God could have been doing something else except listening to their prayers. But it's not just wasting God's holy minutes. It's what are you asking for? If you're a team praying to win, uh, that's something very specific, and you might not win. So what is God's will for what was that will be demonstrated in that day? And how can you align yourself up with that will? Doesn't mean you align yourself up with losing. It means that you understand that God is not a genie in a bottle, just granting three wishes. It's something more complex and complicated than that. And are you tracking? If you've quietly stopped believing that your next level is possible, please take my leadership assessment test. I created it so women like you, women who are strong, resilient, and who are overlooked, you can finally understand what's blocking your growth. And if you qualify, you'll unlock my $2,000 leadership advantage. And I'll walk with you personally for 4 weeks. So go take the test. Give yourself permission to want more. So the last thing that I want to talk about here is the next level paycheck, right? And what we have to do is align our next level to what God's next step is for you. Is it a calling? Are you following that calling? Is it passion? Is your heart in the right place? Why are you doing this? Um, why am I doing what I'm doing? Oh, I want to help people. I'm doing it to help people. Is this going to make me rich and famous? Doubt. I doubt it will. But my calling is that what I have in my head, my gifts, that I can use them to make somebody else's life, help somebody else's life be better. And so for the next level paycheck, that means you take these steps, one step, two steps, three steps, and you get closer and closer to what that calling is for you and what the thing is that you will have to make yourself successful. I got this book called How Do You Hear God's Voice? Because sometimes we hear something, but that something isn't really God's voice. Perhaps the two football teams that each got into a huddle and prayed to win, maybe what they thought was God's voice was not God's voice. It was their own voice wanting to win a football game. So how do you detect that? How do you know what that is? It wasn't my intention to turn this into a sermon. I really didn't want to do that. But what I do want to say is that sometimes we get in our own way. And when that happens, you need somebody from the outside looking in to help you see that, yeah, the problem is you. So having a mentor, having a coach to help reflect some of those things back to you and help you get out of your own way, that will help you achieve that goal of the next level paycheck or the next level in your career. There's an African proverb that says you can go fast alone or far together. And let's go far and let's go far together. So take my leadership assessment test and let it show what you haven't been able to say out loud. And if your results qualify you, I'll support you through your next step. And I'll support you with a $2,000 leadership advantage, access to our private WhatsApp community, and personal coaching. You deserve to rise. Start with the test. It's your moment.